everybody. Thank you for tuning in today to talk Polkadot. My name's Judge, and with me, as always, is my partner in crime, Ryan. How are you doing today, Ryan?
Hey, Judge. I'm doing just fine. Thanks for asking. Appreciate everybody tuning in. We went on a little bit of a hiatus, but we're ready to get back to it and talk some Polkadot. So let's get to it and let's talk some Polkadot.
Yes, sir.
All right. So first thing we wanted to talk about today is the recent auction winners on the Polkadot and Kusama networks. So on the Polkadot side, recent winners include Centrifuge, Composable, Affinity, and then on the Kusama side, we have recent winners of Integrity, Litmus, and Sora.
So, do any of those projects on Polkadot sound interesting to you?
Well, everything on Polkadot is interesting to me, Judge.
Of
But
course.
specifically, I'm real excited about a couple things here. With Affinity, with their slot auction being won, they're going to be the first parachain releasing the first para token, which is a para token specifically. Let's see, that's is developed to support NFTs from any network, and that it is compatible with Polkadot and Kusama ecosystem, which is a pretty big deal considering how popular NFTs are, and the fact that NFTs are great as graphic assets, but there's much more to them, in which we actually see with the other winner here on the Polkadot side, one of the other ones, Centrifuge, where they're helping bring real world assets to the digital blockchain world, and so asset securitization is another possibility with Centrifuge, where we could take real world assets like property or like cars and homes, and be able to tokenize them for different activities. So that's a
Wow.
really big deal, considering if you, let's say, own a home and you don't want to deal with Airbnb or some kind of rental situation, you might be able to find ways to be able to generate income from owning the property to pay for taxes as well as upkeep. So that's a pretty, I'm sure there's many more solutions there, but really exciting to see. Are there any what's jumping out to you?
Pretty much Sora Mitsu, or Sora Mitsu is the team behind Sora. They are one of the more recent winners on Kusama. And what sticks out to me is that they've actually developed a community and ecosystem before they even came to Kusama. They were live and they had a decentralized exchange, and they did some pretty amazing things. Sora Mitsu is actually the team that's behind Fearless Wallet, for all those users out there who use that. And pretty much they have been very, very involved with this whole ecosystem. So I'm pretty excited about them coming over onto the Kusama chain and seeing what they can do.
Well, very good, very good. And say congrats to all the winners that we're looking at here and previous winners as well. For those with Composable, Integrity, and Litmus, I'm sure there's great things happening with the projects. And if any project we mention here that wants to come on and talk about their parachain, their project, what to expect in here in the future, reach out to us on Twitter. We're happy to bring in anybody on to come and talk about projects that are launching on our networks. So really great stuff happening, really exciting. All right, so this next segment here, being that we are out on hiatus, we didn't have a chance to review the 2021 Polkadot Roundup that was published by the Dr. Gavin Wood. It was an article on Medium that I highly recommend everybody who's into Polkadot and Kusama to go read, because it is a great breakdown into the different happenings across not only a lot of the public side of Polkadot, which is the parachain launches, the auctions, but also the big developments that happened with technology and teams joining. There's just so many good things here. We have a few summarized points, but I definitely recommend to go read that, because not only is Dr. Gavin Wood's writing really informative, I really appreciate his writing style. You can hear his voice in his writing, and if you've heard him talk and then you go read his writing, you're like, that you could probably pick his writing out of an anonymous paragraph. You'd be like, oh, that's probably Gav right there.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
always great. But let me go hit some high points here real quick. So First off, most people know the launch of parachains, slot auctions, and crowd loans occurred. Really big pivotal moment for the Polkadot history. It's great to talk about technology and how great something can be, but until it actually launches, it's just a thought, and so it's just a something. And now it is a thing. We have parachains launching on both Kusama and Polkadot network. We're seeing just growth occur in all directions, and so very exciting, very, very, very big milestone for the Polkadot network. Next we have is almost 3 million user accounts have been created in terms of working with the Polkadot network. Incredible feat. 540 forkless upgrades.
Wow.
That's 540 Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Cash 2, Bitcoin Cash 3. This is one of the biggest separators from other systems, is that Polkadot and the parachains attached to the Polkadot network do not have to fork when they upgrade. The Polkadot network, the Kusama network, and the parachains can all upgrade independently. And so if there's a new feature or a new a fix that's needed, there doesn't have to be a large community vote. There doesn't have to get very political. That parachain could decide, hey, we're going to offer this new feature for our users, and they can go build it, deploy it without Polkadot missing a beat. So really incredible thing to point out, because that's a huge number. And when we talk about like the future in technology, you always got to think about adaptability, because anything in any ecosystem, whether it's an animal surviving in the jungle or people making it in society, it's all about the pressures and the ability to adapt to them. And so when we're talking in the blockchain world, where there's a new blockchain being built almost every day, you want to support technology that can adapt to the future, because whether it's bugs to fix, new features or solutions that need to be developed, or whether it's related to accounting, related to crypto, it's all going to be very important that the blockchains we support are ones that can adapt and meet regulation needs, as well as technology needs, and well as the user needs. So very big deal. That we already seeing almost 600 upgrades since the launching of the network, and it's only gonna increase. So from there, 200,000 DOT and 70,000 KSM were awarded from the Treasury in 2021.
Wow. Wow, that's kind of insane. And just so everyone knows, like, these aren't just limited to projects and teams from getting Polkadot or Kusama from the Treasury. It's available to the whole community in the form of tips. You can put in proposals. I myself have received some tips just for doing work for the community, as has Ryan. So don't think it's just limited to developers or ecosystem teams. They will award the community as well. And I know that Gavin Wood had mentioned earlier in the year that there's just funds sitting in the Treasury. If you think that you can provide value to the ecosystem, go for it. Let us know. We'll help you. Reach out to us. We'll help you get a tip proposals submitted and everything. So don't be afraid of that, guys. There's enough to eat for everybody.
Definitely, which is really cool, considering my background, my education backgrounds come from, my master's degree comes from a school of mass comm and journalism. And so it's really interesting to think about an ecosystem where news and information and support can be rewarded directly from the ecosystem, not benefactors in it necessarily. And so being able to support news and communication without having a direct financial tie to, let's say, individual projects or investment firms here is why we're doing this. We want to be able to provide information in a clear and transparent manner. And so with so much going on in the Polkadot ecosystem, Kusama and Polkadot ecosystem, it's great to see that there's support to continue to grow and scale information systems that isn't dependent on an advertising system or some other kind of form of payment. It's great. We just get to couple of friends here talking about the great Polkadot. So that's what we get. It's great to see. Exactly. Next item, we had almost 350 teams are building in the ecosystem now, and believe that is a jump of about 200 teams from the previous year. So that just shows incredible growth in terms of development. Last couple, what was it? GitHub stat reports showed that Polkadot and Kusama are the top projects that or top networks people are working in and developing in. So it's that this number is reaffirmed by that there's lots of growth, lots of things happening, and it's only going to continue to scale.
Agreed.
So very exciting. Let's continue some roundup items here. With the launch of the Kusama and Polkadot networks, we are witnessing the world's first heterogeneous multi-chain. Very important because this is a big differentiator. This is the world's first heterogeneous multi-chain with sharding, which is important because the sharding aspects allows parachains to be able to work and specialize in a specific way, so that they don't have to worry about security and meeting and conforming to a network per se. They can build and do what they need to, and so very big deal. To give kind of a snapshot of what the first auctions gave us. So the first 5 auctions in the Polkadot network locked 106 million DOT, and that is 9% of the supply. That's almost 10% of the supply locked up within the first couple weeks.
Yeah, that is insane.
It's an insane amount. It's crazy. Just think about when people talk about is there real value? Are there things happening? Well, it's like when you see people locking up, community locking up billions of dollars to come and be a part of it. I would like to believe that yes, there are things happening and they will be happening in the future. And for those that don't know, what we're referring to here is with the auctions and locking up DOT. As parachains attempt to join the network, they have to win a slot in the network, in which they win via auction. So the community individuals get together and crowd loan their DOT to these projects so that could be a part of the network. And so by doing that, you lock up your DOT or KSM for a specific amount of time, which is usually a year to 2 years, 2 years with DOT and 1 with KSM. And then at the end of it, you get your DOT back, but you get rewarded at the beginning and vested throughout the time of the parachain being leased. So real quick to explain crowd loaning and auctions, but a unique feature of the Polkadot network. There's I believe there's no other ecosystem or network that currently runs this kind of community driven selection process. So very cool to see. And then with KSM in the first year, 16 parachains locked up 3 million KSM, and that's 31% of the supply.
Golly.
31% of the supply.
Yeah, that is insane right there as well. And just for those who don't know, the reason why these lockups seem a lot less in terms of token amount on Kusama is just because there's only 10 million, and it is inflationary as well. But that's almost 10x the supply, or 10x less the supply of Polkadot. So that's why the 3 million tokens is 30% of the network.
Yeah, thank you for that. That was a great comment. I forgot to mention that. I was like, the numbers seem a bit different there. And last update here from the roundup is the metadata frame and XCM v2 features. These are a really big deal for those that are developing and working inside of the Polkadot ecosystem. One I'd like to call out is the XCM feature. It's the one I know the most about. It's real important from a communication standpoint because it's what it does is allow the parachains to be able to communicate with each other and share and in a way share services, share support, be able to I believe it also has an impact on the parallel processing of transactions. So if we think about a couple of parachains like Kilt, which works with digital identity, social KYC, and if you're making a trade in Karura or Akala, you can keep your identity secret. And so that's just a quick example of how parachains can work together. Currently, I don't believe those parachains are communicating and working in that way, but I'm sure here in the future we'll see collaborations like that. as we all know, the Polkadot and Kusama network is still very early, so there's developments and people are building and building like crazy, and it's always really great to see. So excited for this roundup. Think it was a really incredible year, mind-blowing year when it comes to the amount of development and things that were launched. So it's
Oh yeah.
really, really exciting. All right, moving to the next item. Really cool news article that I shared out on the Twitter sphere recently. That got a little bit of attention. This small fish here doesn't get too many likes too often, but this one definitely caught the algorithm and got passed around. But Polkadot was a researcher looked at a number of proof of stake blockchains and made an assessment on which had what their carbon footprint looked like. And so Polkadot was determined to have the least carbon footprint according to this crypto researcher.
Wow.
So we've really, it's a very cool to see. I think it's an interesting topic when Bitcoin mining comes up and energy usage, where it can be blown out of proportion. But then you look at developing countries where they suffer from like neighborhoods that shut down because of Bitcoin miners sucking all the energy. So it's not that
Yeah.
it's not important, but it's definitely needs to be something that's put and framed appropriately. So crypto and being eco-friendly is extremely important. We have to consider things, but I think it's really interesting that we see like this news article come out, but then we've kind of had a feeling before with like Energy Web and how Energy Web, a company that's focused on efficient energy usage and distribution, is using Polkadot to be able to execute this energy efficient solution it provides. So it's kind of not a surprise in my mind. At the same time, this is really great to see because it's validating that this technology and system is built to be extremely efficient. And regardless of the network volume, the gas fees will never go up. The fees required to be able to complete transactions on Polkadot are so small, it's not even really fair to call them fees. If you interact with different applications, you realize that they're so small that I don't even remember how much some of the average cost is. I think it's like $1, maybe less than American dollar, something of that nature. They're so small that it really, not only from a as we speak to carbon footprint here, can be associated to, oh, okay, well, these gas fees are small. You can then make the assumption, okay, less computation, less energy. Maybe there's more to it here in terms of the impact of the carbon footprint, but in terms of the startup time and development of a project getting off the ground. Like if you're going to go launch an Ethereum project right now, like you better have some hundred thousands of millions of dollars to prepare for your minting fees and everything else to try to get you off the ground. Because if you don't have that financial backing, your project's probably never getting off the ground. But like right now, if someone wanted to go to the Remark app and be able to go start doing some NFT Legos, you got a few bucks, you got a small amount of startup funds, you got a startup. So I think that's it just goes to show with Polkadot, we're constantly seeing this very efficient seems to be the theme of Polkadot. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, I would have to agree with the ecological side, like just going over some of the things in the Substrate Developers Program and some of the aspects that they teach their developers. The supply chain aspect is a big thing that they go over, and I always felt that was pretty interesting. And this kind of makes sense because if you're going to plug something into your whole supply chain, you don't want it to be, proof of work really, or it's going to be, putting out a lot of emissions, depending on the country that it's in. So it's not surprising, and it's nice to have some confirmation finally,
Yeah, no, very exciting because this is very important because as we kind of scale as a society and we scale into Web3, we need to this is a moment to like make sure we're picking the most efficient tools and systems to work with. So like if we found out that the world was ending in a couple of years, we would one of our options would probably be to try and support life on another planet, right? So we would have to get off this planet, get onto another one. But then also once we got onto another one, we would have these different systems we would need to work with. Money really would, cash wouldn't really have, any usage in like a Mars scenario. But if you had energy web tokens to make sure that energy is flowing between your different systems, and then data transferring so that we understand the different, like let's say a biodome managing plants and food, blockchain becomes a critical resource for humanity. And so ensuring that we have the most efficient tools and system out there now helps us as we deal with things now, but in the future, as a human race, we, I think, almost always have to be ready for a catastrophic event and be able to survive. And so, like, it's, maybe grasping at straws here, but it's more and more convincing to me that, like, if we had to, if this scenario occurred, we had to figure things out tomorrow, I would say Polkadot is going to be a very critical protocol that's utilized to help support that kind of mission. So to see that it's, least carbon footprint and a very efficient system, it's very exciting, very validating.
I hope Elon Musk is watching this.
Elon, if you want to talk, let's do it.
Right?
I think we'd have a really good conversation. Come to San Antonio, I'll show you the best Mexican food.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. My last piece here, wanted to give a quick feature out to RomeDAO. So RomeDAO, very exciting project that we have here. So for those that don't know, RomeDAO is in a quick summary, is an attempt to make governance, to gamify governance. It's a project to create a reserve currency for Polkadot and Kusama ecosystem, but in doing it, it's a DAO set up with a number of houses. But really, what's trying to be achieved is gamifying governance to make it fun. And so it's a very, very cool system we're looking at here that is about to kick off. So it is what's considered a APY RPG, which means there's staking and bonding involved. So there's an earn potential, but then also there's a game being developed as we speak, which based on the Senate meeting that occurred a couple days ago, we should be likely expecting to see the game launch in the very soon weeks. As they announced, there will be a new website update that will have much more information about participating in the campaigns and playing, what it involves in. Really cool thing happening here, because what's really neat about it is that it's not just a DAO. It's a DAO that one is there's no centralized management. It's a number of houses that come together and the organization of developers that's coming together to build the value. And so when you interact and play the game, you actually first join a house. So there's a number of different houses that have different kind of characteristics, and there's different associations to them. So depending on if you're involved in specific like NFT ecosystems in Polkadot and Kusama, or if there's other groups you're involved in, they might be connected to one of these houses. But what you do is you are able to join a house by you bond a small amount of what's called Rome, and then you elect to join a house. And then from there you pick your role, which like for me is I joined the House of Chaos, and I am a warrior. There is archer and cavalry, and then there's more roles coming out after the first campaign launches, which includes, I believe, builders, engineers, and a couple others. But you contribute and give back to your house to help out. So whether it's helping be a general, there's right now I think recruitment's going on in a number of houses to identify those that are going to help coordinate the strategy and efforts. And it's serious strategy involved. So if you've played games like Civilization, like Civilization 5 or 6, Age of Empires, this kind of RPG battle strategy. This will be a live game. This will be a game that's played. And so with the first campaign, we're all fighting the Etruscans. But then after that, we're going to start seeing houses start to battle each other, and a lot of fun stuff. So one of the coolest things about Web3, I think, is happening is the centralization, or not centralization, but like the prioritization of community, and RomeDAO is a very inclusive operation that is just for those that are, if you feel you know you want that kind of community, you want community and engagement and interaction with different types of people and have fun while you're doing it. Check out RomeDAO. This is a pretty cool thing happening, and very excited to see the future.
Awesome. I've heard a lot about RomeDAO. Unfortunately, haven't been able to participate myself. Um, but from everything that I've heard, it's I don't even hear people trying to fud the project really. So I mean, it seems to me like it's a very community oriented project, and I love those kind of things. It's kind of what pulled me into Polkadot and Kusama anyways. So I think that's an amazing project, and I've done a little bit of research into it, and I think I would agree with Ryan. Everyone should definitely go check them out a little bit.
And I will go ahead and uh, say with it, I may not have done Rome enough justice here and explaining it. I as a um, somewhat new to DAOs in general. I bet there are others out there that can explain this much more eloquently. So we'll have future episodes here. We'll have somebody from Rome DAO come on, and we'll get the full download on what's going on and what to expect. So definitely check them out. It's RomeDAO.finance. And you'll get more information there. Also, they're also on Twitter as I believe you just search Rome DAO and you should be able to find them.
Awesome.
All right. What you got for us, Judge?
Well, I think one of the more interesting aspects that's going on right now is the announcement of the Polkadot Pioneer Prize. As we all know, developing in the ecosystem is one of the most, if not the most important aspect of growing a crypto ecosystem. And right now, with this support initiative, if you want to go to polkassembly.io, it's the most recent proposal, and what they are proposing is that $20 million in prizes will go out to devs who participate and solve these unique problems that parity needs solved. So I think that's one of the bigger prizes that I've seen. Like I know Cosmos had recently like a Hackathon 6, and they gave roughly $1 million in prizes. And I know this is a little bit different than a hackathon, but $20 million for these teams, I mean, that's a lot. That can go a long way. And it's definitely going to be focused on getting developers into the ecosystem, getting them funded, and solving these unique problems. And it should last throughout the majority of 2022, from my understanding. So the first problem that will need to be solved, our first issue, will be announced later, I believe, still in Q1, I'm not sure, but Q1, Q2. So if you're a developer on Substrate or, Rust or anything like that, definitely keep your eyes out because, like we said earlier, this ecosystem isn't just directed at awarding developers, but also community members. But when they do reward developers, man, is it good.
Yeah, that's awesome. I just need to hop in my DeLorean, go back in time, and learn to code and develop. Because apparently I missed out.
Hey man, I'm working currently on getting a validator node set up. No one assumed that I'm doing a good job. I'm not. It's hard. I am not a coder myself or anything like that, a programmer. So I'm just kind of reading things and messing things up, and that's how people learn sometimes. So
you gotta expect a little chaos to see some success, right?
Exactly. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for pointing that out. Next up on the list, pretty much, is going to be Akala. For those of you who are fans of Akala, like me, they're going to be at ETH Denver for Biddle Week or Build Week, however you want to pronounce it. It's always fun saying that. So if you're very interested in the Akala team, you can actually meet some of them there. They're going to be offering about $5,000 in prizes, and you can learn how to build on Akala. It's going to be the DeFi hub for Polkadot, so why not go and learn how to build on it?
No, I dig that. That's Yeah, they really probably need to change the name from ETH Denver to EVM Denver because there's probably way more talk about virtual machines than they are Ethereum. Because, oh man, yeah. So anyone from ETH Denver that needs wants some PR consultation, I'm happy to do pro bono. No charge. Yeah, it was funny. I nearly corrected this. I saw I saw build and I was like, oh, that's spelled wrong. Nope.
Nope.
That is the week. Buidl. I dig it. I'm not making fun. There's no fun being made. I'm laughing at myself here. But yeah, I saw that and I was like, oh, that looks weird. Oh, nope, that's totally right. I'm glad I checked that.
Typing it was weird too. I'm not gonna lie.
No.
Like I wanted to constantly correct it, So
You're probably giving Microsoft Word an anxiety attack.
yeah. Well, I'm giving myself an anxiety attack. I can't handle the little red squiggly line, that bothers me. So
it's hard.
But speaking
hard work happening here. Hard work happening here.
Right. Speaking of red squiggly lines, I am very excited to announce. Well, not announce, but I guess bring up rumors. If you haven't been paying attention to the Polkadot ecosystem, there have been rumors of a sponsorship opportunity for FC Barca or FC Barcelona. For those of you who might not be familiar, they are one of the world's most popular football/soccer teams. Right now, it is rumored to be somewhere in the vicinity of $100 million sponsorship deal over 5 years. And Polkadot will be, the symbol will be on the sleeve and on their training equipment, I believe. So nothing has been confirmed yet from Barca official or Parity or Web3. It seems to have kind of gotten started by a few local journalists over in Spain, I believe. And there's been a lot of convincing pictures and stuff that would make people think that it's true. And the fact of the matter is that nobody official has confirmed this or not. So we can kind of treat this as a leak, if I'm thinking about it correctly. So nothing confirmed yet, but if you're a fan of Polkadot, keep your eyes out on that because I need to know when those jerseys come out so I can get one myself.
Yeah. This is a really cool, if this rumor is true, very, very exciting. I personally am Liverpool, but I will own a Barca jersey if Polkadot is on it. I'll set my fandom aside for a sec and support the great Polkadot initiative here. No, and yeah, to dive a little bit more too, my first thing was I was like, I hope we get a little more than the jersey because advertisement. It's really important to get the name across as well as brand discovery for those new to crypto, all that. So I think someone mentioned that normally when these advertising deals occur, that there's also like on-field advertising of like in between during halftime during the game. The Polkadot name kind of appearing behind the players when they talk and a lot of that stuff. Because that was like I saw that come up a few places where I was like, oh, is it just the jersey, all that. We want to. I'm fairly certain it's a bit more than that. So the jersey's huge. It's amazing. But like TV deals and all that too, I think is if they're talking about that size of money and that kind of deal, I'm assuming there's also like advertising TV partnerships, things like that, which is really, really great because we're seeing some race cars that have some crypto on it and things of that nature. So it's really great to see Polkadot come out with this. If it's
basketball
true.
stadiums, all sorts of things. No, yeah, if it's true, it's going to be one of the bigger things to happen with the crypto in the sports world. So I'm very excited to find out in the future. And like I said, I really want a jersey. So
very cool. All right, so that wraps up our news today. I wanted to make a quick call out to our upcoming interviews that we'll be having published. Part of our hiatus was in editing these interviews, so I apologize about that delay. But we should be having these out very very soon. So keep an eye out. Our first one of the first ones we'll be posting out will be with Cryptopia film director Torsten Hoffman, in which we had really, really cool conversation just about the kind of crypto in a worldly aspect. There are some really cool stories. Definitely recommend checking out Cryptopia, especially if you're new to crypto, to catch up that background since about 2014 on. Really important information to kind of see the wild west of crypto. Cryptopia does a really great job of kind of giving you an unbiased history. It's not just highlighting the big names, but it's talking about where kind of some of the smaller players played a huge role, how things came to be, like Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin. Very, very cool documentary. Definitely check it out. It's on YouTube. I think it's about just so worth your time. And then another interview coming out is with the founder of Modern Stoa, Sky King. With Modern Stoa, they're doing some really cool things in terms of the NFT world, as well as podcasting and gamifying podcasting for real world value. So I think there's going to be some really cool bits and pieces to kind of dive in on there that we'll share out. But then the overall video and interview should be ready here in the coming weeks. So very exciting stuff. So definitely stay tuned for those interviews, and we'll be continuing to produce content. Keep an eye out for our dot talks here, so that we can help keep you up and informed. Anything you guys want to hear or have us talk about, tweet us. Tweet at us, and we'll see what we can do. Anything else you want to wrap up on, Judge?
I just want to thank all of our viewers out there. I know we haven't put out, we took a hiatus on filming a little bit, and I want to thank those who have continued to watch and support and tweet at us. We're both going through a little bit of a transformation, I would say. So we're going with the flow now, and things should be good now that we got this. We have this setup going. So I do appreciate all y'all out there.
Yeah, definitely. It is great, and that's the community really does make this worth it. We didn't want to try for cheap likes and just get lots of followers. That's not our point. Our point is to be authentic and be able to provide, be a useful service, be able to provide news and help people get excited about this groundbreaking technology. So again, thank you to everybody who listens in, whether you really like what we do or just want to sit and hate on us, whatever. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. We have our website, Talk Polkadot, where we have our previous recordings, interviews, and media. So check us out there. And if anything, just give us a follow on Twitter, follow us on YouTube, and we'll see you next time.